Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and today I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet. It's made with Superduos, Miniduos, and Gemduos, as well as a few pearls. And I was just sewing and kind of putting it together, seeing how it would look good, and I came up with little different components that are attached by a little tiny strip of herringbone. So if that's something you'd like to see, please hit the like button, come back, and we'll get started. So I'm going to use a color combination that I really love together, and that is blue and bronze. And I've got some mini duos, some super duos, and let me show you the difference in sizes. The mini is just a little bit smaller, but together they make this pattern look really nice. And then I've got some Gemduos, and Gemduos are like little diamond shaped super 2-hole beads. I also have some 4mm pearls, some 15-ohs, and some 11-ohs. So to get started, I'm just going to thread my needle with a comfortable amount of thread. You could use a size 10 or 11 or 12, whatever you have handy. You could use any of those sizes. And I'm going to pick up 8 of my mini duo. Check the holes, and I think I see right now that the one hole on the other side is blocked, and that happens even more so with mini duos than super duos, so make sure you do check your holes. Okay, so this is what's on your needle. 2, 4, 6, 8. You're going to bring that down to the stop bead and sew it into a circle. Sometimes you can just get the first one and then go through and reinforce all of the other. So this is what you have. Looks like a little flower. Now, because I've already reinforced all the way around, I'm going to get rid of my stop bead because it's kind of just in the way. So I got rid of my stop bead, and I'm going to go through a few more. Let's see, we're coming out of here. Got the tail thread caught there. Okay. You just want to make sure that it's nice and reinforced. Now, you could do it a couple of times if you want, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm coming out of the bottom of this mini jewel here. I'm going to take the pearl, 4mm pearl, and you're coming out of the top of the first hole, if you can see that, and you're going to go directly across, which is this mini duo here, and we're going to go through the bottom of that first hole, like so. And when you pull through, that pearl is going to pop right into the middle of that little flower. And I'm still getting my tail thread caught a little bit. So, okay, so this is what you have. Now it's always a little wobbly and wonky at first until you get going. So we're coming out of this bottom hole of this Miniduo. I'm going to turn and go through the top. And now I'm going to start to add my Superduos, which are the blue ones, in between each of the mini. So you're going into that top hole. You're going to do that all the way around. I want to get that tail thread caught again. Whoops. Okay. Just got a few more to put on. And now you're putting the last one on. You're coming out of the top of this Miniduo. You're going to go into the bottom, which your needle is right there, of that first Superduo you put on. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to turn around and come through the top hole of that blue Superduo. And that is going to set us up to start putting on the Gemduos and the pearls. So I'm going to take, and you got to make sure, because on one side the Gemduo is flat and on the other side it's raised. So you need to put it on whichever way. I'm going to be going back this way. So I want to make sure that the raised part of the Superduo or the Gemduo is going to be on top so that it's flat on the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to alternate. We're going to take a pearl, go back through that top Superduo. Going to take another Gemduo, making sure that when I put it on, the raised side will be sitting properly on my piece. So we're going to alternate. I'm going to pick up a 4mm pearl, go through the top, pick up another Gemduo, see how the raised and we're going that way, so I'm going to go through the top. And then back, and we're going to pick up another pearl. Another Gemduo. And then one more pearl. And you're going to go through that top, excuse me, that top Superduo, and then through the bottom of the Gemduo. And now you're going to want to just go around and follow the thread path and just reinforce that. And it's going to curve in a little tiny bit, but that's the nature of this pattern. If you can see on this one, it kind of curves. Doesn't have to curve a lot, but it kind of curves a little bit. So I'm going to reinforce all the way around before we go to the next step. Now you're seeing the back of it. I'm going to flip it around so you can see the front. And it's really fun playing with 2-hole beads because you can come up with a lot of different patterns. You just got to kind of try different things and see what you like. Now I'm showing you the bottom side. See how the Gemduos are flat on one side and curvy on the other? This is going to be the front of the unit. So when you feel like you've reinforced it and it's holding together very well enough, I'm going to come out this pearl here, go through. Now you can either work on the through the back or the front. If it's easier, I'll just turn it around and you can kind of see how it's going to look. So I'm going to take 5 15-ohs now on my needle. Oh, I got 6. So I've got 5 15-ohs, and I've chosen like a shade of blue. I'm coming out of the bottom of this pearl. I'm going to go through the top of that Gemduo. I'm going to pick up 5 more. Kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 more. We're coming out of the top of the Gemduo. We're going to go into the pearl. And see how we've got this nice little embellishment on the sides like we do on this one. And you're just going to go all the way around doing that. Going to put 5 15-ohs, 5 15-ohs, 5 15-ohs, 5 15-ohs all the way around. And then I'll be back and we'll continue on. Okay, so I've gone around and added 5 15-ohs between each pearl and Gemduo and pearl. And so I've got it on all angles. And I'm coming out the pearl. And now I'm going to pick up 4 11-ohs, which I'm using a bronze color. All right, so I've got 4 11-ohs. I'm coming out of the bottom of this pearl. I'm going to go through the top or the other side and pull. So, and what you've got here is either just a nice little embellishment or it's the very beginning of herringbone. So I'm going to put one more herringbone stitch in. I'm going to come up these 2 11-ohs and I'm going to take 2 more 11-ohs and I'm going to come down these 2 on the other side, and then you just got to kind of and that's what you have. I'm going to go through that pearl and up. So now my thread is coming out of the top of this set of 3 11-ohs. And I've threaded my tail thread, and I'm going to do the same thing on the pearl coming across from this one so that we can attach. We're going to just keep making enough units, and here I've got 6 units. So that's basically what it takes for my bracelet size. But you just need to keep putting it around your wrist and checking and seeing how many you need. And I have added an extender chain so that it can kind of, work for any different sized wrists as well. You can have the extender chain hooked, right at the end or at the opposite end. So we're coming out of this pearl. I'm going to do the same thing I did over on this side. I'm going to take 4 11-ohs. And we're going to go through the bottom. Whoops, did that wrong. I've got to come through the top to the top of this herringbone stitch, like so, and then put the 2 on. You're coming out of this 11-oh, you're going to go down the opposite. And I will definitely do another video all about herringbone, just using probably 8 O's. Okay, so I went ahead and made all my other units and put them together, because otherwise this video would probably be an hour long, and I don't think you'd want to stay and watch an hour-long video. So I've got one, and I'm going to show you how I attach it, and that's what you just do for all of them. And then we'll put on a wire guard, and a lobster claw and an extender chain, and then we'll be done. Okay, so I'm coming out of this 11-0, and to attach it, all we're going to do is sew up the right across this side, the 11-0s. We're going to go down, and then that's the attachment. It's that simple. And what we're going to do now is reinforce. We're going to go up the other side and then reinforce it a couple times, and then I'll feel good about the attachment. And I'm going to just sew through. After that, I'll just sew through and tie some half-hitch knots and burn my thread off. So, okay, so we're coming out the side purl here. We're going to go up these 3, and then we're going to go into the 3 across to attach. And I'm going to go through that purl and then go up and down a couple of times to make sure it's attached really well. Through that purl. You want to do 2 to 3 passes through. And if you need to change, I'm using a size 10. If you need to change your needle to a smaller size, 11 or 12, you can always do that too. So that is the attachment all the way down. So I'm going to sew in my threads, burn it off, and then we're just going to add a wire guard on both sides and then the clasp. Okay, so after I attached these 2 units, my last 2 units, I've actually just snaked around and come out. I had so much thread left over, I didn't want to waste it. So I followed the thread path to come out this 11-0 seed bead. And all you're going to do is take your wire guard, see how nicely that fits there? I'm going to go down the other side, and then down the seed beads again. Making sure that that thread is sitting on the groove in between on the wire guard. And I'm going to reinforce that one more time. It's getting kind of tight in here, so I may have to change my needle because there's a lot of thread. Maybe I could make one more pass, but you want to be careful because you never want to break a bead, especially after you put so much work in. And then sometimes you gotta start all the way over. So when you're beading, try not to just make something, pull your needle so hard through that you actually break a bead. And I am speaking from experience. Can you tell? even if you have to just go through one bead at a time, like I did here. Okay, and so we've got our wire guard on this end. I'm going to sew this thread in, put a wire guard on this end, and then we'll attach the jump rings and clasp. Okay, so I've got all my units attached, and I've got a wire guard on both ends. It fits nicely in between those two sets of 11-ohs there. And you're just going to take your jump ring, open it up like a door, put on your lobster claw clasp. Now you could definitely add, use a toggle or whatever clasp you want to add to those wire guards. I just thought it was nice to have an extender. I like the way it looks once it's on. Open up your other jump ring. Put it through part of the extender. That one needs to be opened a little bit more. And then through that wire guard, close it up. And there we have our finished bracelet. I do love these colors together, navy or a dark blue and bronze. Goes really good with blue jeans. So I hope this video was helpful and you enjoyed learning how to make this pattern with the Miniduos, Superduos, and Gemduos. And if you did enjoy it, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you'd be notified of any time I upload a new video. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I will see you next time.